Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Joe Gamer. Hope you're all having a great day. And this is going to be a different live stream than what I usually put up on this channel. I'm going to be playing some Call of Duty World War II, playing around with the bots and local play, so you have some to keep yourself entertained as I talk about this. But there's a particular topic that I want to address because I feel like I need to. It's a topic about a particular video game, and it angers me, it shocks me, it pisses me off, and it baffles me, and it really makes me think about how stupid Activision is for doing this, and how low they just went by announcing this. So the game I'm going to be talking about is Call of Duty Black Ops 4, the next entry into the still going strong franchise of Call of Duty games. And they had a huge community reveal event for this game earlier today, and I didn't get to watch it because I had to work during those hours, but I was able to keep track of the news. And I was able to check out all the important details about the reveal. So yeah, let's talk about this game. Now I've been playing Call of Duty for a very long time now. It is my favorite first-person shooter franchise, and the main mode in these Call of Duty games that I've loved, the most was the single player campaign. I think that while the Call of Duty franchise does have some bad single player campaigns, it most of the time has some really good ones too. Some of my personal favorites are Advanced Warfare. I thought the Call of Duty Ghost campaign was underrated, Black Ops 2, and my personal favorite being Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. And I like story in games, so when I play a Call of Duty game and the multiplayer sucks, the other game modes aren't that good, but it turns out to have a good single player campaign, then at least there's that for me to go back to. So I looked at this community event for Black Ops 4, and well, they revealed all the standard stuff. They had the zombies, cool. They had the multiplayer, cool. They had a battle royale mode. For the first time, they're gonna have a battle royale mode in Call of Duty, which is fine. I will say that. It was pretty much revealed anyway that they were gonna have a battle royale mode. It was a huge rumor. The internet, when a huge game comes out like Black Ops 4, there's a ton of people linking information on the internet, and Battle Royale mode was one of those leaked rumors. So it was pretty, it was pretty expected that they would be revealing a Battle Royale mode. So there's that. I look at all these different reveals for different game modes. They got the zombies, the multiplayer, the Battle Royale mode, but it confuses me then. I start getting confused. I'm like, okay, but where's the single player? So, I look up on curiosity. I look up on Google on the news tab. Will Black Ops 4 have a single player campaign, or just Black Ops 4 single player campaign on Google? I looked it up, and literally the first thing that pops up is this article from a Polygon that says Black Ops 4 will not have a single player campaign as confirmed by Treyarch. And when I saw that article, I was angry. I was like in full denial, and I just couldn't believe what I was looking at, because not only were the rumors true, but Activision just would actually be so freaking stupid to do something like this. There are a few reasons why this pisses me off. I'm gonna get into those reasons now. So the first reason is that, well, it's just ridiculous that you remove one of the biggest selling points of your entire franchise to fit in this battle Battle Royale mode that nobody ever asked for. Now, look, I'm not against Battle Royale being in Call of Duty. You know, it's new, it's something different. If people like Battle Royale mode, then sure, okay, appeal to that demographic. Give them a Battle Royale mode. Put something new in the franchise. Sure, I was not totally against it, and I did say before when I saw the rumors, I said, okay, as long as you don't replace the main campaign with a Battle Royale mode, I'll be fine with it. But they actually did it. They actually replaced the single-player campaign for a stupid Battle Royale mode, and I just cannot believe that they would actually do something like that. I mean, I know Activision, is pretty dumb when it comes to making decisions, and they're pretty damn greedy. The whole loot box craze that went down during when World War II came out last year. But this is like a huge step down. This is just next level stupidity right here, and I'm sure it's not going to piss just me off. It's going to piss a lot of people off. I'm pretty sure I'm not the first one to talk about this on YouTube. It was just confirmed today, and there's already a ton of people making videos of this on YouTube. It's quite controversial, and I don't like it. It pisses me off because now it brings me to my second topic here. It's like, okay, here's the thing. People play Call of Duty for different reasons. People play it for the zombies. People play it for the multiplayer. Most of the time, people play it for the multiplayer. And that brings me into my second reason. I looked at the all the other trailers for Black Ops 4. I looked at the multiplayer trailer, the zombies trailer, and I was like, okay, well, if you're gonna remove a single player campaign, then you should at least have some decent multiplayer. But they can't even do that shit right. Now, I haven't played the game yet, so everything I'm saying is just opinion right now. It's always an opinion, but it's like the game, from what I've seen in the trailers, Black Ops 4 just looks like an expansion for Black Ops 3. I'm not even joking. Look at the trailers. The multiplayer literally looks the same as Black Ops 3, with a couple small changes here and there. The enemies have life bars now. There's not a whole lot of exo jump in as there was in Black Ops 3. But still, it doesn't really change anything. It's like when you take out all those little details, the game looks the same as Black Ops 3. And that ticks me off even more because everyone, me, pretty much everyone that's a fan of Call of Duty, they've been practically begging for Call of Duty to go back to its roots. And they did with World War II. They went back to their roots with World War II, okay, but, you think it would be smart if, Activision would just stay there for a little while, because people are tired of the whole futuristic bullcrap that, Infinite Warfare, Black Ops 3, and so on had. So we all wanted Call of Duty to go back to its roots. And you're telling me they're only going to do that once and never do it again. At least with Treyarch. Now, as I'm talking about all this, I don't exactly know who to put the blame on fully. I don't know if I should blame Activision or Treyarch. Because Treyarch, I believe, still has some potential in them. They created one of the best series in the entire Call of Duty franchise. And they rebuilt what a first-person shooter can be. And just for them to just completely take all that, throw it away, just to meet these trends and what these corporations want, what the focus groups want, instead of listening to the fans who pay good money to get the next entry in their franchise, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that multiplayer companies are doing this nowadays. Activision is pretty much doing the same thing that EA did with Star Wars Battlefront. Remember when Star Wars Battlefront came out, the new one, not the original, ones for the PS2? When EA took over Star Wars Battlefront, that game had no single player campaign. It was all multiplayer. The game was nothing but multiplayer, and it was, I had fun with it. Okay, I had fun with it, but I wasn't the one that just said, okay, you know, the game's fine. You know, that means, you know, everyone else thinks it's fine. No, a lot of people hated that game. That game got panned the hell out of because of its unoriginal multiplayer, lack of single player campaign, and just complete genericness when compared to other first person shooters. So when Star Wars Battlefront 2 came out, they actually did a single player campaign. Okay, it wasn't a huge, you know, full effort single player campaign, but it was still a single player campaign. And it's like what Activision is doing now is that they're not listening. It's like what EA said. You know, EA said this, Microsoft said this. They both said single player isn't as popular as it used to be. You know, people only want multiplayer now. Okay. Well, that's not true. That has never been true. In fact, there's a lot of proof that has just come out in recent weeks that proves that single player games are here to stay and they're never going anywhere. Literally, just, you know, last month, God of War came out. God of War, one of the most recent single player games, got a lot of positive feedback from both critics and gamers alike. So, yeah, when you get a lot of attention like that on a single player game, then that should prove enough to you that single player games are still popular. But no, Activision doesn't give a shit. They instead want to make a freaking service game with nothing but multiplayer, and it's probably going to charge the consumer even more for like in-game items, you know, and they're pretty much doing the same thing that EA did with Star Wars Battlefront. It's ridiculous what multiplayer games are becoming. You know, and the irony is that, you know, I still like multiplayer games. I love me a good multiplayer game, okay? I'm not always about single player. Even though I do prefer single player over multiplayer, I do like me a good multiplayer game. It's just like what you know these companies are doing with multiplayer now is ridiculous. And it's unacceptable. They're turning it into a service where it's like you can't just enjoy the game anymore. No, you have to enjoy the game by paying extra money. So, yeah, it's like multiplayer games are dying now, and that the whole thing about single player games being dead, well, that's completely switched around. I feel like multiplayer games are about to die with the way they're being treated now. It's crazy. And you know, there is one one thing I want to address here. And let me see if I can remember it. There's one last thing I want to talk about. I'm gonna show you some gameplay until I can figure out why. Right, hey, I didn't write a script or anything. This is literally all just me talking into the microphone. There's no script. You know, it's just me expressing my thoughts. So there's one more thing. Oh yeah. Well, let me just skip right into the conclusion here. I think this will be the first time in like a long time, or possibly ever, that I'm not gonna buy the next Call of Duty game. I don't see a point in it, honestly. Because if I buy this game, it's not gonna prove anything. You know, it's gonna be like, you still pay money for the game, so, you know, they got your money. That means they're gonna keep doing this, you know, over and over and over again and never learn their lesson because people are still paying good money and they're still getting high sales. And you know what? I'm sure Black Ops 4 is gonna sell well. Every Call of Duty has high sales. It doesn't matter, you know, how bad the game looks. So I'm sure this game's gonna sell well anyway because Call of Duty has a very hardcore fan base, no matter how crappy the game looks. But you know what? I'm not gonna fall for it. I'm gonna completely miss out on Black Ops 4 this year. And you know what? If the game does well, and if I'm completely wrong about the game, maybe I'll check it out. But I just don't see a point in playing the game right now if it doesn't have a single player campaign, or multiplayer for that matter, that catches my interest. Because if you can't, you know, if you can't have a Call of Duty game without one of the big things that makes me buy the game in the first place, I've pretty much bought the games just for single player campaigns. And that's really the only redeemable qualities about Call of Duty is the single player, because sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not, but you know, it's still enjoyable. It's what it is. And I feel like Activision just really, you know, sticks the nail in the coffin and really betrays its fan base with this particular choice, because it shows that they rather just follow these trends, right? That they want to make their games be like everyone else, because this is what's popular. This is what's really gonna get gamers to get our game, and it's really what's gonna make them money. When really it's not. It's just gonna bring Call of Duty down lower than it already is, and I don't like it. I don't like the direction Activision has taken. You could have a different opinion than me. Maybe you think having no single player is a good thing, but I think it's one of the worst things Activision has ever done with this franchise. I think that is practically killing the franchise, and that, it's like, okay, no single player. That means you could freaking spark other ideas. Be like every other freaking game developers out there making Call of Duty games. They're gonna be like, oh, okay, we don't need single player. No, I mean, Battle Royale is gonna do just fine, right? No! You can't have a single player. You can't have a Call of Duty and not have single player. It doesn't work that way. Call of Duty has always had single player. It's been one of the mainstays of the entire franchise. You can't have a Call of Duty and not have single player. Otherwise, you're turning it into another generic first-person shooter with one of the trendiest, most just generic, cliche, overused themes I've ever seen in a first-person shooter franchise. Just literally the same thing. It's like they're completely behind last year. They're like 2 years in the past right now. So yeah, I want to clear that up. I never really thought I had to make a video about this because I was hoping that it wasn't true. I was hoping that all of this was just a rumor. It's just a fad. It was all fake. But it being all true makes me not only believe the internet even more, but it just makes me question Activision and makes me question my love for this entire franchise. Because, okay, where does it go from here? What if this game makes a ton of money? What if this game makes more than World War II? What will happen to the franchise then? Will they possibly never have single player in the game ever again? Or will somebody at Sledgehammer or Infinity Ward literally just stand up and say, no, we're not going to do that. We know what our fans want. Let's give them a single player campaign that they deserve. Let's make it better than the past Call of Duties have. Let's not make our game a service. Let's make our game a Call of Duty title. So basically, if you're looking forward to seeing footage of Black Ops 4 on my channel, then don't bother. It's not gonna happen. I'm not, and I'm pretty much not gonna change my mind in the future. They could reveal anything about this game by now, and it wouldn't change my mind, because you take away one of the best parts of the entire franchise from me. That's gonna kill my hype for the series. I wasn't even that hyped about Black Ops 4 to begin with. I mean, I was hoping that Treyarch would move to like another World War game, like maybe a World at War 2. I was hoping that would be their next title. We don't need a Black Ops 4. In fact, if you're going to make a Black Ops 4, then at least make it like a prequel to Black Ops 3, or a game that takes place after the events of Black Ops 2, so we can have a good story with good characters, and maybe bring back Raul Menendez from Black Ops 2, who is, in my opinion, one of the best antagonists in video game history. Do something like that, because when you reach a point like World War II, even though World War II wasn't a great game, it still showed that Call of Duty can go back to its roots and still be a fun experience. People are still playing this game to this day. People play Call of Duty games all the time. It doesn't matter how shitty they are. But World War II, if I'm not mistaken, I believe World War II got the highest sales of any Call of Duty game I've ever seen. So it's practically a blockbuster when it came out. Even though it's not a great game, I like the experience. I like the multiplayer. It's a fun experience, and it looks cool. I think that if Activision just stayed with it for a while, the Call of Duty franchise can go back up, and it can reach its pinnacle. It can come up with some new ideas, and the entire franchise will be fresh again. That's what I thought, you know? We could possibly find a way to revive the Call of Duty franchise so that it's not a meme anymore and it's an actual popular first-person shooter franchise with an even larger fan base. But no. This is the complete opposite of what I wanted. We get a Call of Duty game that has nothing but multiplayer, has a generic looking Battle Royale mode. The Battle Royale mode doesn't even look that impressive. It's literally the same thing as like PUBG, just with a Call of Duty skin on it. It's like freaking, I would say it's like free-for-all, but just on a bigger map. Oh, and you get vehicles too, so cool. They're, that's cool. You get vehicles, cars, airplanes. That's cool. Never seen that in a Call of Duty game before. But I mean, Battlefield does the same thing, so even that's not too different. And you take that, you get a multiplayer that is about the same thing as Black Ops 3, one of my least favorite Call of Duties. You get a zombies mode that looks like an expansion of Black Ops 3. The entire game looks like an expansion of Black Ops 3. It doesn't look that new. It doesn't look that impressive. It looks very generic, and it looks like Activision and Treyarch just never listened. They don't pay attention, and okay, now you could make the argument that because Call of Duty games take, a while to make, that they had no idea World War II was going to make so much money. But you know what? Here's the deal. Call of Duty is a game franchise that comes out every single year, but they don't have to. If you saw that World War II made so much money, scrap your idea for Black Ops 4 and make a Black Ops 4 game that fans want. You don't need to shell out this futuristic bullshit again, just to make some quick money. No. And you don't need to completely just throw out the single player and make this a games for service in order to get more money out of your consumers. No, that's not what Call of Duty is about to me. Call of Duty shouldn't be this generic multiplayer game that has nothing but just grabbing money out of the consumer. And while it has done that for the past few years, Call of Duty has pretty much always been that, I don't think it has ever been as bad as it is now. Even with World War II, that game had some problems with, in-game items and microtransactions and such, but I didn't have a huge problem with that. I still had fun with the game. Black Ops 4, though, I look at it and I see nothing redeemable about it. Honestly, I don't see any life in it that makes me want to go out and buy the game. It doesn't catch me at all. It doesn't grab me. I feel like if I picked up Black Ops 4, I would just be proven to Activision that this shit is right and it's in a good direction and that they should keep doing what they're doing. No, they shouldn't. Activision made a pretty stupid decision by taking out the single player campaign. One of the biggest things in their entire franchise. I don't want a Call of Duty game without a single player, because when I pick up a Call of Duty game, that's the first thing I go to. It's a single player campaign. That's the first thing I play. And maybe I wanted to put some Black Ops 4 footage on my channel. I wanted to play the single player campaign so I can have some Black Ops 4 footage on my channel. Because I can't stream multiplayer without the shit lagging out on me. So really, single player games are the only thing I take footage of nowadays here on my channel. But I wanted to get this off my chest. I needed to address that I'm just not, with the direction Activision has taken. It's a very stupid decision, and I really hope that this game doesn't succeed as much as I think it is. I hope this game doesn't make a whole lot of money. I just want someone to learn their lesson. I want someone who's been saying all this shit about single player and how it's not as popular. I want them to just be slapped right in the fucking face and just learn their lesson. Activision doesn't seem to be doing that. They're taking one of their biggest franchises and turning it into this games for service title with a generic battle royale mode that honestly can still be added in the game with a single player campaign. We're in the PS4 generation of consoles. We're in the current generation, the 4th generation, as much as I know. You can put a lot of shit in your game. You can put a multiplayer mode, you can put a battle royale, you can put a zombies mode, you can put a single player mode all at the same time. You don't need just 3 fucking modes in your game. You can put 4. I'm sure you can fucking do that, Activision. I'm sure you have the resources and the technology to put a single player campaign with all these 3 other modes. I'm sure you have that in your arsenal. But you just refuse to pull it out because you don't see what the fans want. You only see what the money wants. You only see what the money can grab. You only see what these suits, see with their big, with their, their glasses and their freaking cigars and their briefcases. Like, the next Call of Duty needs to have a Battle Royale mode because, Fortnite and PUBG are very popular with the trendy YouTubers. I don't like it. I don't like the direction Activision has taken. I think it's a very stupid, corporate decision, corporate greed. I don't want this game to succeed. I really don't. And, with the direction that EA is going now, with their new, they haven't revealed anything for Battlefield yet because, E3 is up. E3 is pretty close. They're probably going to reveal some more info on Black Ops 4 and EA's next first-person shooter game, Battlefield, or whatever it's going to be called. But I'm probably not going to buy either Call of Duty or Battlefield. Usually every year I either buy Call of Duty or Battlefield. But this year I'm not going to. Because, Black Ops 4 looks like crap. And it looks like a complete opposite, a complete step back from what they usually, accomplished. And with EA, what they're doing, being completely greedy, Activision and EA are practically in the same boat together. They are just 2 corporate greedy masterminds, not giving a shit about what the fans want. They only give a shit about where the money is. So, if Activision and EA are doing this with their first-person shooter franchises, I don't want a part of it. I don't support it. I really don't. That's not what gaming is about to me. I'm supposed to have an experience. I'm supposed to lay back, relax, and have fun with the game. Not have my money sucked out of me, for bullshit. And I don't even pay for this shit. I don't go out there and buy microtransactions. I don't see no point in it. But that's not going to stop everyone else from doing it. Freaking Star Wars Battlefront 2. People still bought all those microtransactions. And when they removed them, people complained. They were like, oh, but I want microtransactions back in the game because I want to get better at the game. Look, here's the thing. Get better at the game. You don't need to freaking upgrade your character by paying $50 just to get better at the game. You do that naturally as you're playing the game. That's how it's always been. That's how it always should be. I don't need to pay extra money just to get better at the game. That's not how it should work. That's not how competition works. That's not how multiplayer competitiveness works. It's stupid. And, Activision did go out there and they said that, they were going to have some story in the game. Like, they were going to have some story in the multiplayer. And that they were going to have these, solo missions. Or, that you're going to be able to play solo in zombies mode. Okay, look, here's the thing. Just add in a single player mode in your other game modes. It doesn't change the fact that you're getting rid of an actual, story with potential to redeem the Black Ops franchise. The Black Ops 3 campaign was fucking horrible. So you could make a Black Ops 4 that could completely top that and knock it out of the park. But you decided not to do that. Instead, you just want to focus on the multiplayer. And the money. And gamers' wallets. So, Activision, I hope at some point you learn your lesson. I hope at some point you can actually respect what your community wants, what the people who pay money for your games want, and instead of just taking out all the stuff that makes your franchise, I hope you can just, find a way to make the fans happy, to build the community bigger, to make the Call of Duty games serious again. Because now they're just a laughing stock. They're a complete meme. I am laughing at Call of Duty's face right now because this is ridiculous what Black Ops 4 is doing. I want to take these games seriously. I do. I want Call of Duty to be a popular, a completely just revolutionized first-person shooter franchise with a large fan base, with a ton of effort put into it, But no, they don't do that. It's the same thing every year. Just a couple different changes, a couple game modes, and now they're just taking a few steps backwards. So that's about all I gotta say about that. Activision, I don't like the direction you're taking Black Ops 4. I think it's very stupid. I think you've sunk down to a new low. And I'm not going to buy your game. I'm not. Because I'm not going to sit here and just watch you torment other gamers with their wallets. Because, you think you know better than everyone else. So, you want to be trendy? Cool. I don't. I don't want to be a part of that. So, that's about all I got to say about that. I'll post some new gameplay up maybe tomorrow. Finish off The Evil Within. And I'll see you all soon. This is Chill Gamer, signing out.